We got a report over the weekend from Atlas Group. Actually, a friend sent it to me. This is Atlas Groups does all the census and all the projections for a lot of builders, a lot of developers, and economists. So it's a very reputable company that's doing the forecast. And it's disturbing. You know what's more disturbing? That I was right the last 3 years. That's more disturbing because I've been ringing this bell regarding values. For example, like in Alliston, I've been friends and family members. They have properties there worth $800,000-$900,000. A townhouse, tell them to sell, nobody sells. Now they're worth $6.5, so you lose $250,000 in equity. Just again, they could have bought it back at $600,000 now and banked $250,000. Now we're at $650, and these look like they're going to probably hammer down to like the low 500s to maybe the high 4s at some point. So again, you have properties. The whole point of the real estate game is appreciation and holding. That's the whole goal, is to hold the market. But if you look at the consistency and what's going to happen for the future, even based on this report, it's going to be very, very sad times for a while. Just remember this. In 1988-89, if you're familiar with Woodbridge, behind the wall was the place to be. If you lived behind the wall, it was like you were a step ahead of everybody. Let's just say that. It was the most affluent area in Woodbridge. It was most desirable, like sought after would be the right word for that place, like a real sought after community. And we're at the height of the market in 88-89, and I know this because there's some of the elder realtors that actually played in that market can give me like real data as we're talking now. At the height of the market, they were buying houses there. Remember, they're big, 3,000 to 4,000 square foot houses between $800,000 and $900,000 in 1988-89. Think about this. That market, and when I got into real estate in 2010, because it's one of those, I was so excited I had data, I can see what things were actually selling. So I was taking a look at behind the wall, like the progress of that, and you seen the way that thing just dropped off. You went from like 800,000, they were selling them for like the high 3s, low 4s, so they literally cut right in half. Okay, it took till 2011 to get back to the $800,000, $900,000 mark. That's almost 20 years, right? Am I wrong? If it's 88, 9 to 12, and 10, that's 22 years. Let's say 20 to 22 years to get back the original prices where they were. So imagine that you bought that house for $800,000 in 1988. It took you 22 years back just to get it back where the value was. That's crazy. So we got to look at the data points here in Canada, because a lot of people are looking at it like it's impossible. They're not going to do it. It's the banks don't want it. The government don't want it. They're going to try to avoid it. But at some point, you can't fix things that are already broken. Specifically, I know everyone's mentioning the rates if they start coming down really aggressively. That's fantastic. It will take a lot of people off the fence. People that are ready to buy, no doubt, but a lot of the people that are recently unemployed, with if either they're in trades or warehouse and whatever it is, attached to like a blue collar job, and also white collar. We're starting to see a lot of white collar jobs being slashed due to AI. And now you're recently unemployed, you're not going to be spending money. It doesn't matter what the rate is. So just keep that in mind going forward. I just want to read one part of this article. I'll just read. So this is the Atlas report here. I've been sending this out to family and friends that I'm concerned about, that I'd love for them to kind of unload what they got and kind of sit tight with their money, even if they set it into a mutual fund, or not even a GIC, very safe, secure. You're going to get your money back. Just to take your money out of the market currently, especially if it's a secondary property. I get it, primary. It's your own home. You need a home. It doesn't matter, right? But I mean, a lot of this stuff with secondary property ownership, like investments, it doesn't make sense to hold on just now. It says new home sales by builders in the Greater Toronto Area has fallen off significantly in the past number of quarters, and 2025 is shaping up to be the lowest number of sales in decades that Atlas Group has been tracking the data. Single-family homes sales, single detached, semi-detached, and townhomes have fallen over 50% so far this year over the same period last year. The condominium apartment sales have fallen almost 65%. So just remember this, keep this just to kind of give you some contrast. That's only 25. 23 we had a massive drop off. 24 we had a massive drop off, and then 25 we had a massive drop off in sales. So where are we sales now? Like if you kind of look at the whole of the market, is it maybe turning over maybe 10 to 15% than it normally would in like a normal market? So that's not written in this report, but just to kind of give you some contrast with that. Actually, you might even have it here. Well, look at the drop off here. you kind of see the drop-offs, just dramatic drop-offs, 51%, 63%. Just remember why that matters is the jobs that are attached to it. That's all. It's the jobs attached to it, because immigration is going to slow down too. We're starting to see the highest migration out of Canada since the 60s, they mentioned. So highest migration out of Canada. Canadians are leaving the country. A lot of the South Asian population, like I got a few Indian friends of mine talking about this, a lot of their friends and family members going back to India. It doesn't make sense to be here. They can get a high-paying job out that way. Tech industry is fantastic, manufacturing, especially if you got the education, and they're going to live like kings there with making the same amount of money here, basically, opposed to here spending all your money into taxation, which is and you have big mortgages, which doesn't make sense, right? Let's just keep going here. This is what's terrifying, okay? So by 2029, the completions of single-family units could bottom out at about 4,000 units. If this were to happen, the total volume of construction activity would generally fall to about 1.9 billion in 2029 from 6.7 billion in 2024. And 2024 was a very slow year as well, but look at the drop-off, okay? Starts and completions of apartment units could fall to about 10,000 units. Note, this includes an assumption of about 7,000 purpose-built rentals. So it's like a 70-30, 70% rental market and only 30% that they know people are gonna buy, which is kind of frightening for the future, because that's what I've been telling everybody, that they're looking to get into like a renter society. Canada will become a renter society, like similar to like Italy or Europe, where you lease to own, rent to own, whatever it is. You really have no ownership. Again, this is read these articles. It gives me like shivers thinking about this, because I've been, it's been 3 years I've been ringing this bell. Construction volumes down to 2.6 billion from 7.5 billion last year. Again, just remember the job losses, right? Based on the amount of job losses, so there's going to be $10 billion lost by 2019. And then this is what they expect the job loss to be. Literally, almost 87,000 jobs are supported by this economy that will be lost going forward. And this is what I'm talking about regarding if the rates even drop further. It's not going to really, I'm sure people will come out and utilize them. I get it, because prices will start coming down to get low rates, so people come out of the woodworks. But it's going to be a very terrible economy going forward. They say that this is not going to be a correction. This is going to be a structural shift. So it's a whole new alignment to the way Canada will look regarding the whole economy. So we don't know. We don't know what to how to plan for it. Is just basically stay lean, stay light, have as much cash as possible. Make sure you're budgeting quite well, and then ultimately, if you can, I know some people have hurt feelings with the America currently right now with the tariffs and all that stuff. Put that aside, forget about it. You got to think about your kids and if your money's going to be working for you. And the only place that it's going to be working for you right now is going to be in the U.S. So just think about that. But that's pretty much it for a Monday. Have a great day. Ciao.